5 years ago, I got a notification that low-key changed my life as a content creator. I had been accepted into the YouTube Partner Program, meaning that I could now earn money from watch ads, supers, and more on the platform. I've said this plenty of times on this channel, but I believe that the YouTube Partner Program is one of the primary reasons why I'm able to be a full-time content creator with fewer than 100,000 followers across all of my platforms. Because the consistent recurring income I make from the YouTube Partner Program helps me predict my income and plan my year. Today, I'm going to share my best tips to help you qualify and share how I would rack up those 4,000 watch hours if I were starting from zero today. First, I want to address the two different ways that you can qualify for the YouTube Partner Program and why I have a strong preference for one over the other. You can qualify for the YouTube Partner Program through long-form content, where in addition to meeting their minimum subscriber threshold of 1,000 subscribers, you would also rack up 4,000 hours of watch time in the last 12 months. If you want to qualify for the YouTube Partner Program through Shorts, you need those 1,000 subscribers and 10 million valid public Shorts views in the last 90 days. Now, you might be thinking that if you get lucky, just one mega viral video on Shorts could solve that question of 1,000 subscribers and those 10 million views pretty quickly. And I'm sure there are some people who have managed to qualify for the program that way. But first, we have to keep in mind that that is likely a more rare occurrence. The path to monetization within the YouTube Partner Program through long-form content is much more clear. First of all, with longer videos, as in videos longer than 60 seconds, which is the cap on a YouTube short, are automatically going to give you more watch time and watch hours. Also, you have a longer period of time to qualify. Racking up those 10 million views might be possible within 6 months or a year, but you only have 90 days to get it done. So having 12 months to qualify means that you're going to have more time to experiment with your content, see what's working, and do more of it to have those hours culminate all together and hopefully help you reach that 4,000 watch hour goal. And the reason that I'm such a fan of long-form content on YouTube from a business standpoint is that you, no question, are going to make more money with your long-form content than you would with Shorts, even if you have tons of viral content. And if you don't believe me, let's do a little math problem together. At first glance, which video do you think would make more money? A long-form video that has 20,000 views or a YouTube short that has 1 million views? You may take a glance and say, well, the short has way more views, so you've obviously made more money there. But what this really comes down to is RPM, or revenue per mille. How much money are you making per 1,000 views on your content? I was curious to see what the average RPMs are for both Shorts and for long-form content. So I did find a Shopify article that really broke it down. I will link it down below in the description box. According to this Shopify article, the average RPM for Shorts on YouTube is between 1 and 7 cents. Let's take the middle of that average and just say that your RPM on YouTube Shorts is 5 cents per 1,000 views. That would mean that on a YouTube short with 1 million views, you would make $50. And you know, $50 is not bad, especially considering that all you had to do was upload your piece of content. However, according to that same article, the average RPM for long-form content on YouTube is between $1 and $20. Again, let's just pick a number in the middle and say that your RPM for long-form content is $10. That would mean that for that video you had with 20,000 views, you would make $200. This to me is the perfect illustration of quality over quantity. And it's not to say that a YouTube short can't be high quality, but it just proves even further that when you develop know, like, and trust with your audience through long-form content, even if you have fewer eyeballs on your content, it's the quality of that subscriber, the quality of their view, and the total amount of time that they're choosing to spend with you on YouTube that really makes a difference, and that results in this kind of stark difference in terms of payment. So now that you understand the benefits of qualifying via the long-form content route, let's talk about one of the top things that I really think helped put me over the edge to get me into the YouTube Partner Program, and that is consistency. Once you decide to use long-form content to qualify for the YouTube Partner Program, I believe that uploading those long-form weekly videos is going to be the best way to start to build an audience, let YouTube understand what your content is about, and really drive up those watch hours. The same way that your favorite television show airs every Monday, or maybe not so much in the streaming era, but you like to know when your shows are coming back. You like to know when there's going to be something new to watch. And one of the easiest ways to train your audience about when they can expect to hear from you is to create a posting schedule that you stick to as much as you possibly can week after week. It does take work and it does take planning, but I can definitely say that being consistent and posting every week over the years has not only helped my channel grow and help me reach more of my ideal viewers and creators who I want to help, but it has led to me making more money over the years through the YouTube Partner Program. If I were starting from zero today, what I would do is create my first 8 videos and schedule out 1 video a week on my channel, and then basically go back and take a look at the analytics to see what is working. And what I like about this is it gives you a more reasonable sample pool to pull from than just posting 1 video and basing all of your plans going forward off of the analytics from that 1 piece of content. And it also gives you a little room for experimentation. If you go back and look at some of my first YouTube videos, I was posting a get to know me video here, a fashion haul there, a beauty product review there. And even if I looked at those first 8 videos, I could clearly see which video took off more. And then I could take a look at that video and say, what was it about this thumbnail? What was it about the title? What was it about the content that kept people watching and that had them clicking on this video more than any of my other pieces of content? If you're in need of content ideas, I would basically think about your content pillars as a creator. If that's a new term to you and you don't know anything about content pillars, I have a whole breakdown about what they are and how they work inside of my free guide, The Influencer Launchpad. That is always linked in the description box of my videos, so you can click the link there and get your free copy. But in general, your content pillars are basically the topics you like to cover with your content. So I would say my content pillars are fashion and beauty, life in New York City, content creation, and the behind the scenes, just to name a few. And after you post those first 8 videos, like I said, go in and check out the analytics. Were you showing up in the search results for one particular term? Maybe now that is a topic that you can create another related video about. I had responded on Threads a few weeks ago to someone who asked a question about watch time and qualifying for the YouTube Partner Program, and I'll share her thread on the screen. She said, "Can you elaborate, please? How can I improve my watch time for long-form videos? I create home workouts, which is highly competitive. Viewer retention is low. Sometimes I wish I could afford an editor, and maybe that would help with the retention." I think when you get to a point where you're making enough money from the YouTube Partner Program to cover your costs of outsourcing, that hiring an editor is definitely something you can look into. But even before we get to that, I think it's a good idea to just check out our own analytics and see what's working so that we can get the retention up based on proven fact, based on videos where we've already had good views and good retention. So obviously I can't see this creator's in-depth analytics, but I went over to her channel, and by far her most popular workout videos were glutes and booty workouts. Duh. I mean, who doesn't want a great butt? So if I were her, I would plan the next batch of videos that I would create around that topic, since those far and away had the most views on her channel. So I was able to gauge that just from a quick glance at her channel, and that is basically looking at the numbers and the quantitative results. But another way you can find video topic inspiration to increase your retention is by looking for more of those qualitative metrics. One of the top places that I get video ideas is in the comments of my videos and over over on the community tab on YouTube when I put out calls for potential video topics that you guys want to see. The comments don't necessarily have to say, hey, can you make XYZ video? But if you start to notice a theme or a pattern in the comments, it might just be easier to take some of those questions or comments that were left and use them as inspiration for a new video. For example, a few weeks ago, I posted a video about why I think growing slowly can be more beneficial for content creators than going viral. And I got 2 comments on that video that were kind of asking questions about what to do if you've gone viral and now the demographics of your account, like the audience who you have attracted from that viral video, is not necessarily your ideal client or customer or viewer, and it really got me thinking more about the downsides of going viral. And as a result of those 2 comments, again, no one requested a video on that exact topic, but I was able to look at the comments, sense a common theme, and now I'm working on a video, hopefully I'll get it up in a few weeks, about some of the downsides of going viral and how to fix what happened, or at least suggest some solutions. So don't forget to look at the comments section. But either way, I would encourage you to look at your own YouTube analytics, and you can sort your content by the top watch time. When I decided to sort the content on my channel by which topics had the highest watch time, I saw 4 that came up. First, anything Pinterest related. All my Pinterest videos, you guys love to watch those all the way through and stick around for them. Another theme was best creator tools / software tutorials. So showing you how I do things within Canva, Notion, some of the AI tools I've been testing for my business. Third one was YouTube advice, which is the theme of this video, if you haven't caught on to that yet. And the 4th is more pricing, pitching, and negotiating brand deals. So again, if I were not currently qualified for the YouTube Partner Program, but I saw that those were the 4 topics that didn't necessarily get the most views or most subscribers, but that picked up the most watch hours, those are the 4 topics that I would really double down on and create a ton more content about in the hopes of increasing my watch time. So if I've established those 4 things as my content focuses, the next thing that I would work on is the intros for my YouTube videos, because those first 30 seconds are key in terms of whether people will stick around and continue watching or click away and watch something else. I'm going to share my screen and show you the 5 videos where the highest percentage of people were still watching after 30 seconds. If I were to pull some common themes from these 5 videos, I would say number 1, sparking interest with my titles, right? Biggest influencer turnoffs. I mean, you guys loved that video and clicked in and stuck around, because sometimes we all just need to complain together, you know? Same thing of why I quit my Patreon membership. Why would she quit her Patreon membership? I thought things were going well with that. Is she going to reveal some tea there? Also, I would say alignment with a very specific interest or topic. So for example, if someone was planning their honeymoon in New Zealand, this video is going to show them exactly what that could look like. And if they've already decided they're going or they're pretty serious about their trip planning, then they can see from the jump that this will be a good video for them to watch to kind of plan their trip and see what we did and if they might want to incorporate those activities too. And I think the other theme is answering a question that someone may have been searching for example, why you should prioritize Pinterest or how passive income streams can change your business. I'm actually going to play 2 of these intros for you as well, just to show you that capturing someone's interest in the first 30 seconds can be done in many different ways. First, let's watch the video about why creators should prioritize Pinterest in 2024. Did you know that as a creator on Pinterest, you have the ability to monetize through brand partnerships, affiliate revenue, even selling your own products and services? I have been a Pinterest creator since 2010, but when it comes to what works on the platform today, I wanted to sit down to film this video with my 4 top reasons why you should prioritize Pinterest in 2024. So in this intro, I'm showing you why I'm a good person to talk about this, given that I've been on the platform since 2010. And right off the bat, I'm naming 3 different ways you can make money on Pinterest, which is probably pretty interesting for those watching. Now let's take a look to the intro for my New Zealand honeymoon vlog. So that's pretty different, right? There's not really a hook there. I'm not jumping in front of the camera and saying, here's 10 reasons why you should honeymoon in New Zealand. But what I did instead was take some of the top clips and highlights from the trip and create this really fun teaser reel where people want to keep watching, because they're probably wondering what that giant ball we were in while we were rolling down a hill was. It's called a Zorb, and it was one of the most fun days of my entire life. And they're probably seeing us on a beautiful hike and saying, oh, we should add that trail to our list. I'm sure they're going to show us what that is in a little bit. So that just goes to show that there are many different ways that you can hook a viewer. It doesn't necessarily have to be talking to the camera. It could be something scenic, visual, and beautiful too. Once you've mastered those first 30 seconds and you've gotten someone to continue watching, I think it's so important to continue to deliver on whatever you promised at the beginning of the video throughout the rest of the video too. If you said you were going to teach someone how to do something, make sure that you actually finish that complete tutorial. If you were maybe publishing a vlog about New York Fashion Week, you will probably want to keep the content focused on that week and those events versus jumping in with random things or doing longer rambling segments where you're not actually in the action. I also think that when there's a long sign off at the end of a video where you've spent maybe 15 minutes in your content topic, but you're spending 2 minutes saying goodbye to someone, as soon as you give them that signal that the video is wrapping up, they can take it as permission to get out of there. And that's fine, and obviously we're grateful for any watch time and retention from people who choose to click on our videos. But I do think that continuing to add value or provide entertainment, whatever the topic of your video is, all the way through to the end is going to be really key, because if you can get people to the end of the video, then you can implement a call to action. To be clear, you can do a call to action at any time during the video. I did one earlier in this video encouraging you to download my free guide, The Influencer Launchpad, if you haven't already, because that is going to also sign you up for my email newsletter and help me build my list. However, you might see better results from a call to action at the end of the video, because if someone has stuck with you through that entire time, so hello to any of you who are still watching, why don't you guys comment a pineapple emoji if you're still watching in the comments, and that way we know who all the real ones are. But anyway, if people have stuck with you all the way through almost the end of your video, it's not the end yet, don't click away, they are more likely to hear your call to action and actually, take action on it. Because if they've made it this far in the video, that means that they truly care about you or that they've enjoyed what they just watched. And again, I recommend keeping your call to action very short and at the end of the video. But what I've started doing in the last year that I do feel has helped with my retention and watch time is to verbally call out one video that I think they should watch next. And I like to say how it relates to what they just watched. By doing this, you're creating this cycle of almost bingeable content. It's like when Netflix gives you the option to watch the next episode in the series. Here, my story is not necessarily as chronological as a TV show, so it's up to me to look back at my video library and say, based on what everyone just saw in this current video, what would they want to watch next? I talked about that earlier when I talked about brainstorming content topics, but I think it really applies here too. So that's why, if you've noticed in the last year, at the end of every video, I point you guys towards one video that I think is relevant to what you just watched that I would suggest watching next. Another thing you can do is tease what your next new upload is going to be about. And even though people might not watch something right away after they finish your current video, they might subscribe to your channel so that they don't miss next week's video if it is exciting and relevant for them. If you do that, you can also set a reminder to add that video once it's published to the end screen of the video that you called out that other video in. This is so meta. Hopefully that made sense. Well, we've reached the end of this video, which you'll almost never hear me say, but since I've already let you in on my secrets, I'm going to use this as a chance to say, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, but you like what you just watched, please consider subscribing. That really helps me get in front of more people on YouTube and helps my channel grow. And as with all of the tips I shared today, it's really important to tailor them to your own personality, editing style, and personal YouTube channel. So if you're looking for more advice about how to show up authentically online, do you see what I'm doing here? Please go ahead and check out the up next recommendation on the screen because I think you'll love it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.